Hi, and welcome back to the official Merch Sprout YouTube channel. We help people like you source items from China and overseas manufacturers and supercharge your company's profitability through professional sourcing techniques and robust control systems. In this video, we'll discuss the importance of having a robust RFQ, saving you thousands of hours in wasted time, meaning that you can get back to searching for new products and improving your profitability. Hi, I'm Joe Houston, a quality control engineer. My team and I at Merch Sprout help individuals and companies source, manufacture and inspect items in Asia and in China. We've been engineering robust, quality, world-class products from multinational companies for the past 10 to 15 years. Now we are utilizing the same professional techniques to get the same level of quality and products and get you the perfect products from Chinese and Asian manufacturers. Now today we're going to be exploring the topics of RFQs. Now RFQs, I love them, okay, that might be a bit sad, but this is the first contact that you're going to have with your manufacturing facility, and it's imperative that you make a great first impression and show potential suppliers that you are keen to work with them and get them to believe in you, your product and your ideas. If you want to come across here as professional and potentially more extensive than you are, because things like MOQs and product pricing become a lot more attractive because suppliers want to work with you rather than you want to working with suppliers. Now, without further ado, let's dive straight into the beginning. What is an RFQ? Now, an RFQ stands for Request for Quotation. Now, I apologize if I'm teaching some of you how to suck eggs here, but trust me, it gets a bit more informative than this. A request for quotation is the most overlooked piece of documentation in purchasing interactions in Alibaba. Simply, it's the instructions to a vendor, supplier, to supply you with the price of something that you need that they have, or the ability to produce. You're providing an opportunity for a group to swap money for goods or services. Now, why is it the most overlooked process, you ask, or at least in my opinion? Purchasing interactions happen literally millions of times a second on a global scale. But the art of buying in person is it's fading. Now, with each interaction where somebody is buying something without seeing it, we kind of lose a little bit of skill that a previous version of us had. Now, you see, when we go into a shop or a store, we pick up and we feel products, we inspect them, we ensure that they're the correct size, fit, and function. Without knowing it, you're kind of analysing the potential purchase in a specific details, maybe that you may even realise. You're learning what's in the market by comparing items side by side, hand in hand. Now, for millennia, as humans, we've been doing this. We've been going into shops and we've been looking. Is this product good enough quality, or will it perform its function to my expectations? Those are the things that we look for in the shop. But we're at a point where we no longer have to be in a brick and mortar shop. Apples physically in hand, comparing apples for apples, comparing like for like. Instead, we look at photos on a screen, comparing what we deem like for like. How often do you look on your iPhone, your tablet, or your computer screen, tongue at one side of the lips, squinting frantically, trying to guesstimate if the Amazon false plastic tree will fit into the corner of your apartment? Now, this is all based upon the rough dimensions given on a screen. Now, global sourcing is kind of no different because ultimately you're looking at a computer screen. But the RFQ document allows you to put all the information that you need in one place. Material, height, size, color, dimensions, and any questions that you need answering, such as how a supplier maybe would get it to you, what are the shipping terms. Compiling this information means that you can copy it numerous of times. Therefore, it splits you into many copies as the perfect buyer, meaning that you can send it to many, many more manufacturers and ultimately countries. You don't need to be in the market, product, apples, in hand. Now, if these instructions in your RFQ are detailed enough, you may as well be there comparing like for like in person. Now, this is the art of bulk buying in the modern age, which is why I like RFQ so much. That's why having a robust RFQ helps substantially. The benefits of sourcing like this initially are vast. You save time with suppliers. You invite suppliers to provide you with quotations. You remove the need to ask every single supplier individually the same questions repeatedly. Suppliers instead will tell you if they want to work with you or not. If they can produce parts to your specifications, drawings, colours, and you get the price that they can do it for. And one of the best tips that I can actually offer you in this situation when handing out hundreds of RFQs is to produce an RFQ response document. And that's so that suppliers can populate their responses to you in your document. Now, we talked a little bit about getting responses in a way that you need in our video on market research. Now, having an RFQ response form with the questions preempted allows you to remove a lot of the to and fro questions that you will have initially with your suppliers. If you tailor a response form to your RFQ document, then you can get exact answers that you want in a format that you want. Now, this is the biggest time-saving hack that I've found when sending RFQs out to global suppliers. You make the supplier answer your questions in a format that suits you. Now, if you've sourced or bought an item from manufacturers before, especially overseas, you will know that the initial correspondence can be somewhat convoluted. You can get more questions back than you initially asked, which is why having this response document is important. Also, here, drawings are essential as they don't need to be translated. Now, with a robust RFQ, all the drawings are in one place. Now, if you're in the hardware world, you'll know that drawings are crucial. These are the ultimate instructions that you need to make anything. They bridge language, cultural, and physical borders and reduce confusion. And with these being in a single space, in a single easy to read format, they are easily referenced and, importantly, what the supplier is using to construct their quote. And hence, the price that you will receive will be more accurate. So you can start to see the bigger picture around the RFQ now. And if you have enough details in the RFQ, suppliers will provide you with a more accurate quote. And the more quotes that you have, the better of an idea that you have on the true cost of the product that you are trying to source. This is one of the best ways to get data on prices for free, and also allows you to call out the suppliers who are trying to scam you out of, your hard-earned cash. Think about it. If you get 30 quotes in for a component, and they're all around, say, for example, the £100 mark, and then a single outlier comes in at £30, you need to be asking, why the gap? What corners are being cut? Are they just after your deposit and then they'll close down? Or will they send you a substandard product? Maybe the sample is great, but the component is actually very, very poor. The more quotes that you have, the more information you have. The more information that you have, the more informed decisions that you can make. The more quotes and knowledge that you have, the easier negotiations will be when you come to choose your supplier. It removes emotion from the supplier selection process too. It allows you to put information on a sheet of paper and compare it, because bias is one of the killers in business decisions. And when selecting suppliers, you want to be basing your selections on data, removing the influences of bias from those selections. And this is where having things on paper in your format from your RFQ response forms helps remove the ambiguity of the situation. Comparisons are much more manageable. Ultimately, you will have a normalized responses from suppliers. They will have, all being well, supplied a quotation in a legible format, and you can easily compare the quotes side by side. And here we go. Much like when comparing items in a shop, you can start to get a feel for the supplier by working this sort of process. Besides, you can start to get a feel for the manufacturing process too and how confident they are in replying to you. Now, does having a robust RFQ get you to that 100% perfect product in the hands of your customers? No, it's a long road of discovery, voyage, rewards, trepidation, and occasionally failure. But the RFQ gives you a fantastic foundation to get the accurate, robust supplier and price. Gets you loads of information, loads of useful data, and that first contact with a ready supplier to make your powerful products. Now, that brings us to a close in our video on RFQs. If you want to have a look at more information on auditing, purchasing, and quality assurance, then feel free to head over to merchsprout.com. But until next time, please like and subscribe, and remember, sustainability is the key to real quality. Bye.